We were talking the other week about the crossbow pistols and my obvious dissatisfaction with them. I was playing in the yard today at work with my bow with a box target, which I've used loads. It's just a box stuffed with rags and bits of card and lino tiles and stuff. And it's well worn. And the arrow I was using went through the box at some point and hit the fence post and it shattered. It's a carbon arrow. And it's shattered and splintered up to about 3/4 of its length. So what I've done, I've come up with this. You see what that is there? Don't know if you can see that or not. That's actually a zip tie. What I did was, I found it up to where the arrow wasn't broken, but it was still a solid shaft. And I hacksawed it off square and glued the head back in. Head's bent, as you can see, but that's not important at the moment. I roughed up with some sandpaper the shaft there. And I put some glue around there. And if you can see what that is there, that's a zip tie. I put a zip tie around that. Waited for the glue to set. And then I just used a very small amount of electrical tape. Crisscrossed. And what I've done here, just on the end of the arrow, I've put some good our old friend, TheraBand Gold, just a tie strip they use for tying the bands on your Gati. I've taken that off the Gati and I've tied it round the end very, very tight, and I've tucked and wrapped it. And that's for grip on the arrow. And I'll show you why now. I've took my favourite Gati and I've taken the bands off that I normally use and I've fitted these shitty little Dankong bands. I'll explain why, because I wasn't sure about this. I wasn't sure about how it'd work. And the bands I use are very, very powerful, so I didn't want to make any mistakes with that sort of force in my hand. So I've used these little brass pins and I've fitted the bands through the holes that I use this for tubes and for over the top bands. So through the tube holes I've tucked and pinned it. These are old Dankong bands. I don't use Dankong. I don't like them. I think they're silly, but people do like them, so good luck to them. This old pouch, it's an old pouch this that I made from an old pair of shoes, so I've cut that down into that sort of shape. And the reason for that is that knock on the little arrow there, hook that over there, centre the pouch like you would do as though you were taking a shot, and you've got an arrow firing weapon. Obviously it's dark outside now and there's no exterior lighting on this site, so I can't test it now. This is just like a basic idea. This is just like a basis to see if the theory would work, and it does. I've got a box in an upended plastic bin in the site agent's office, and I'll take a shot at that from like 9 or 10 feet away just to show you that it does work. Even with these silly little lazy bands that are worn out, a cut down pouch. What I'm thinking about is something like Thera Blue tube or Thera Black tube or TheraBand Gold with a piece of paracord as a bowstring worked into the end here where the pouch is on this. Arrows maybe, I've been thinking cut out of birch ply, like a square bodied arrow, like a dart, with a double fletching inserted into it, sawed through whatever heads you want on. And when you cut the plywood, cut a knock into it, if you like, a raised knock into it for attaching to the band. Like I say, this is just early days, like a basic idea. There's people out there who are going to be watching this who can do things a lot better than I can. So pick up the ball and run with it if you like. It's a good idea. I'll take a shot with it now and I'll film it just to show you that it works. Thanks for watching. There's a box cover insulating there, there's a small box so you can see how big it is by my hand inside this bin here, because I'm in the site agent's office, so it's for safety reasons obviously. I'm going to be about like 9-10 feet away. You know, this setup, a setup similar to this, obviously with better bands and better thought out ammunition, bowstring arrangements on here. You'd have like a pocketable tool. I carry my Gati around me everywhere. I never go anywhere without it. Either this or one other. I've got about 2 dozen, but I only ever used 2. Better thought out arrow. You'd have like a usable tool. I'm quite encouraged by it, by the results I had with that one shot. I've had a shot outside, and the shots took inside. It's quite already. It's sort of at that level that a £50 crossbow pistol would be at, and it's got silly little elastic tubes that are well worn out. And I think the arrow's maybe a bit too long, a bit too heavy, but so a squared off arrow, 18mm birch ply or square doweling, whatever. TheraBand gold for your grip around the end of whatever you're using. A double fletch knotted in or glued on to the shaft with a lip cut into the shaft, like a knock cut into the shaft, and then whatever sort of head your imagination would allow you to fit to it for the sort of scenarios we discuss. I'm encouraged by how effective it actually is. The shot I took outside, I just fired it off at the fence from like 20 metres away, and it flew really straight, like as straight as the shot would have been if I'd been taking a Gati shot with my own bands, you know. So I'm quite encouraged by it. Obviously the weight of the ammunition to the power of the bands ratio would have to be sorted out, but it doesn't take long to do that. I mean, I soon worked out that like I was missing everything because with the Gati bands I was using, I wasn't using heavy enough ammo. I was trying to use like John's double TheraBand gold bands and like a decent Gati with like marbles and 9mm steel and stuff, and it doesn't work. You've got to use like 10, 12 or 14mm lead for it to be effective. So it's the same sort of scenario. It's an idea. Yerk's Brave had like an idea, however you pronounce his fucking name, had an idea similar to this with these little flechettes that he made out of like threaded steel bar with a wing nut on and duct tape flights. But I think, I mean, good idea, yeah, you know, but I think that's a bit overkill myself, I mean, for what we would use. And the manufacture of them and stuff, when you can make them with stuff you just got lying around, you know. We've all got ply lying around, for sure. Bust up arrows. I've got flights on busted up arrows in bins in the house, so I've got loads of TheraBand gold, loads of paracord, loads of tape, loads of heads of fucked arrows, you know. So it's an idea. It's a starting point for somebody else to pick it up and run with it. There's a few like, you know, spring, rubber powered, whatever, you know, there's a few ideas. I've got a pretty good idea who I think's going to come up with the first one. Yeah, and add it to his collection. And then we can all sort of like pick up from there. But this works. It's quite a workable idea. You know, the basis of the idea works. The theory works. So it's encouraging and it's good to build on. So there it is. Thanks for watching.